Hi friends, welcome to the next video. It's been a while, I guess a few days. I got a real bad cold, so I was out of it and I couldn't make any videos for a minute. But yeah, we're back in action. We're here at the studio and I've been getting a lot of questions about working your weaker hand. Is there such a thing as weaker hand? Well, before I get started, I just want to thank everyone who's been writing while I had a cold. I was just laying around and trying to recover. And I want to thank everybody for writing in and sending super thanks. Man, I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. That's really cool. And the guys who are buying the book, Paradiddles and the Magic Sticking, I really appreciate you buying the book and not pirating it like so many others have done. What do you know, it's something, a constant battle for me, that whole issue. But so anyway, I was sitting in bed, and when I could, I was just on the pad, or whatever, trying to watch a movie or just, trying to work on stuff. And I got an email about working your weaker hand, right? So in my opinion, if you're a drum set player, you're always going to have a weaker hand. Especially if you play Brazilian music or let's say, maybe jazz, because your right hand is doing a lot more than your left hand, especially in Brazilian music. You get the guys that are doing the ride super fast all the time. And I think there's always going to be a weaker hand. That said, the two hands have different functions on the drum set. Unless you're ambidextrous and you're playing both ways all the time for artistic reasons, maybe you don't have a weaker hand, but most people do have a weaker hand, and I would probably venture to say to be careful of your language, because it's not the weaker hand, it's just a hand that has a different function, right? If you're a classical percussionist, then it's important maybe to have both hands about equal, right? I'm not sure if that's even possible ever, but it's good to try to have them as even as possible. If you're a classical percussion, if you're playing snare drum, if you're on marimbas or whatever, it's always something to consider. But for the drum set player, I don't know if it exists to have both hands the same all the time, right? Especially as you make your way through different kinds of genres and stuff like that, you have to develop different things on each hand. Like I said, for Brazilian guys, it's the right hand really has to be able to keep that repenica part or the samba part, really clear, and you do that. I'm still working on that myself. So the left hand doesn't do that. It has a different function. You're comping, you're playing around, and so there's always going to be this kind of give and take with your hands. That said, if you're a beginner and you really feel like your left hand is weak, or your right hand, whatever, I have to ask you, how much time do you actually spend on your weaker hand? Do you actually work on it, or do you just do whatever exercises you do both hands all the time? Well, it's something to look at, right? Now, I have a few exercises that I'm going to give you to work your weaker hand, and I suggest maybe trying to do that for a while until you feel that maybe it's catching up, or at least you feel more confident that it's moving along, okay? So these exercises are nothing new that I haven't shown here before, but I just want to isolate it on each hand, okay? So the first thing you're going to do, I'm going to do traditional in this case, is just this accent pattern. Okay, I'm playing with the left hand. I'm just assuming your left hand is weaker. If you're left-handed, then your right hand might be weaker. You do this with your right hand, okay? Now, to me, if you're wristing this, if you're using your wrist a lot like this, right, it's important to know the positions. Again, position 1, position 2, neutral position. Okay, position 1, like this. All right. If you're having trouble getting all the way up there, you probably release these fingers, you know, and play palm open like this. Okay, and get used to making this motion all the way up if you're playing traditional, right? So the pattern, you'll see that I'm getting a full extension. Okay, and then the second accent pattern is just triplets. So accent, tap, up, accent, tap, up. If you can't do it fast, really work on that slowly. Accent, tap, up, accent, tap, up, accent, tap, up, accent, tap, up. All right. Now the third thing is just a group of 4 notes. So the first one accented. Okay, so those are 3 things you can do for wrist stroke. Now you're going to add the rebound in there. Okay, now the rebound stroke, as I've said in other videos, is so important for your drumming, so important for you to learn, because 85 to 90% of the things you do on kit is rebounded. Okay, maybe if you're just watching the video for the first time, the rebound stroke should be like the foundation. Okay, you have your wrist strokes, your basic sequences that you do. The sequence is like of a double stroke roll is right, right, left, left. The sequence is the order in which the stickings fall. Okay, that's wristing. Then you have the rebound. Okay, the rebound stroke is like almost the second layer of your foundation. You absolutely have to know this. If you're just doing wrists all the time, you're never going to be able to get fast or power or, you know, play with any kind of subtlety, and you're not going to have access to the vocabulary that the choreographies of the rebound stroke give you. Okay, so had to do that whole spiel again. Maybe you guys know it, they've been watching the channel. But now with rebound, okay, slowly, as slow as possible. The accent gives you the second note, bounces. Okay, accent, and then the second note comes from that. You're going to lift after the second note. Okay, right. So technically, it would be accent, lift, but the rebound, you're flowing it all in one motion. Now you'll notice, I hope I'm not going too fast, okay? You'll notice that my thumb is moving here. Technically, that is a rebound, okay? Now, the issue here is the stick is moving the thumb. I'm not going like this, okay? I'm not doing this. There is some motion that the fingers are going to have from just the motion of the stick. So don't worry about it. If you think, oh, I'm not supposed to move my thumb, it's going to move a little, okay? So as slow as possible. And you see it's not, or else that happens. If you want to get, if you want to get a smoother transition, you have to go lower. Unless you go right with 2 hands. Oops. But that's another thing, right? That's something else. So with one hand, you have to just keep it lower. All right. The next thing is the triplet thing again. you really want to feel those bounces, all right? Don't wrist them. Not like this, okay? Let the stick work for you. The best gift you can give yourself is to let the stick work for you, okay? Again, a big concern of mine is to avoid injury. You guys don't want you getting injured, right? Tendonitis and stuff like that. Tendonitis, I've seen it ruin a lot of guys. Even some of my metal guys, you know, I don't play speed metal or whatever, but the biggest complaint I get from, you know, speed metal guys that happen to cross my path is, you know, that they've got tendonitis, you know, and that comes from all that stuff that they're trying to do all the time, and it's a constant, you know, commands wears out the muscle, the tissue, the cartilage. So you want to save cartilage, you got to put rebound in there. You do have a limited time with your body, by the way, and you have to, you know, take care of it as much as possible. So that's the 3 exercise, 3 notes, and 4. Okay, now remember, to get 4 notes, do the accent, bounce, tap, up. Accent, bounce, tap, up. Now, for the rebound, to practice this with rebound, you want to let the rebound do the first 3 notes. On the 4th one, you're going to lift, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that's how you do those exercises. So I'm just going to go over them one more time. Wristed, 2 notes, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Triple, wristed, rebound, 4, bounce, okay. Now, the main issue again is learning how to bounce. It doesn't have to sound like you're in military school, okay? The thing you're trying to learn is to control the elements of the rebound stroke, which, what are they? Remember, gravity, weight of the stick, reaction of the stick off the pad, and downward pressure. Okay, the study of downward pressure is very, very important, and you know, something that gets completely neglected in the drumming pedagogy circles. All right. So yeah, with those exercises, you should be in better shape, you know, after a while, and just do them whenever you can, and you'll notice that right, you'll start to feel looser with that left hand. Then when you put both hands together, man, it's like, oh, breath of fresh air, right? All right, you'll feel a lot looser, and you'll feel maybe more confident about your weaker hand. Like I said though, in general, on the kit, one hand, no matter probably how hard you try, is probably always going to be a little stronger because they have different functions, okay? So I hope that helps, and you enjoy watching this video. By the way, I never do this, but I'm having a sale, let's say a Black Friday sale on the Elite program. Okay, the Elite program is usually $1,900. You get 2-year membership on a lesson site. You get 1 week of intense one-on-one online sessions with me for 3 hours a day. And you can divvy up the days, you can do once a week, so it's 7 weeks, once a week. And we're only doing it now for $1,700, so you're going to save. I'm not a salesman, okay? I don't like sales, and it's not what I'm about. So I'm just letting you know, in case you want to do the Elite program. We have the regular year-long membership. It's $200, and I'm doing hand consultations, $100, okay, for the hour. But if you're having trouble with your weaker hand, just take into consideration everything that we said and work on those things. Work on your weaker hand. It's weaker probably for a reason. You don't work on it. Okay? All right, friends. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Welcome. This is PhilMateranolessons.com. Phil Materano Lessons features all of my latest learning material and much more. Here you can get Inner Clock Part 2, the Left Foot Clave Handbook, my ever-expanding online lessons video library, interviews with some of the top players in the world, and much more. All my material is cutting edge in communication and learning. I've been teaching for 25 years now, and as a clinician, I've been lucky enough to teach at some of the best music schools around the world. That's given me the chance to develop instructional material based on what I see in my personal experience with thousands of players. Material that you can actually apply in music right away. That will contribute to your overall musical ability. There are two main goals that I have here on the site. First, to help you develop your musicality, and second, to develop your own voice on the instrument. This website might have my name on it, but it's really all about you. When you are a member of the site, I will personally guide you through the material to give you the best possible opportunity to improve. Interactivity is a highlight of the membership site. You can post videos of yourself playing the material, and I will give you all the feedback you need to get better and better. Everything on the site is presented in a way that minimizes your learning curve. Using the latest teaching concepts, you'll see how you can absorb massive amounts of information in the most efficient way possible. Joining me as a member now,